Years ago, I found myself stuck in the cycle of overthinking while considering a career move. I was evaluating an opportunity to shift from a senior leadership role at Oracle to a fast growing startup. I kept analyzing every possible outcome. What if this is the wrong move? What if the company fails? What if I fail? What if this decision impacts my family negatively? Days turned into weeks, and I was caught in this loop of what ifs and maybes. And while trying to think my way through the perfect decision, the opportunity window started closing on me. Thankfully, I eventually took a leap, but the experience taught me something very valuable. Overthinking kills more dreams than failure ever will. And that's what we are going to be talking about today: the trap of overthinking, how it affects us, where it comes from, and most importantly, how to break free and start taking action. This is one of the most common problems that I see as leaders operate, and one of the most common requests that I receive for coaching. And I thought in today's video, I'll bring all those coaching insights to you. Before we get started, a quick reminder to 96% of you who haven't yet subscribed to my channel to do so now and click on the notification bell icon so that you can be notified every time I release a new video. And now that we have you subscribed, let's get started. Before really diving into solutions, let's start by identifying what are the common signs of overthinking. I'll give you a few scenarios and you tell me if they sound familiar to you or not. You replay conversations in your head. You analyze every word, wondering if what you said was the wrong thing. You spend hours researching, planning, and predicting every possible outcome before making a small decision. Even if you have to send an email to your leadership team, you review it, reread it multiple times before hitting that send button. And sometimes it takes you days to hit that send button. And you procrastinate because you are afraid of making a wrong choice. I've been there, especially when I was deciding on the title of my first book. I wanted it to be perfect. I kept revisiting, thinking, second guessing, and delaying the decision of what I would name my book. It took me longer than necessary because I was stuck in that analysis paralysis phase. And my publisher then gave me an ultimatum. She said that I had to make a decision. The title was good. It resonated with the audience based on the market research that they had done, and they were ready to go with it. And they were not going to wait any further on me to make any changes to that title. So we went with Fast Track Your Leadership Career. Yes, the title that you see over here in the background. And it became an Amazon bestseller. So I was so afraid of making the wrong choice that I kept revisiting this title multiple times. And I'm so glad my publisher did not give me another opportunity and told me that they were going with this title. So why is overthinking a problem? First and foremost, it drains your energy. It is so draining to be constantly thinking about one small little thing. It leads to decision fatigue, making it harder for anybody to take action. And then it lowers your confidence as you start doubting your own judgment. And this is immaterial of how many decisions of yours in the past have been successful. That element of self-doubt crops in when you're overthinking. So now let's talk about why do we overthink. Overthinking just doesn't happen. It's often rooted in deeply psychological patterns. The first one being perfectionism. We are all trained to be perfect. That's how we have been conditioned in our childhood, in our adulthood. So we convince ourselves that if we think hard enough, we'll make the perfect decision. But the reality is that perfection is an illusion that keeps us stuck in a situation. There is no decision that's perfect, there's no solution that's perfect, and there's no situation that's perfect. The second is the fear of failure. That's also something that we have been conditioned. We have been told multiple times that failure is not good, that failure is not an option. You always have to succeed in whatever you do. And that fear of getting it wrong, being judged by others, makes us overanalyze everything, every little decision that we have to make, every small action that we take. And the next one is thinking about the worst possible scenario. This is when your mind jumps to worst possible scenario. If I speak up in this meeting, what would happen if I say something dumb and everybody loses the respect that they have for me? This is the constant fear of the worst possible scenario. And the last one is rumination. That's when you keep replaying the past mistakes, past situation, conversations that didn't go well, and dwelling upon what we should have done in that scenario as opposed to focusing on how to move forward. Now, I have experienced all of these in various stages of my career, whether it was launching a new product at Skillsoft or leading high stakes partnerships at AWS. Overthinking crept in when I was stepping into an uncharted territory. And the first step that I have realized to break free is to recognize these patterns. Once you are aware of what is happening and how you are reacting to a situation, you can take steps to shift that mindset. And that's what we are going to talk about next. So, how do you step into action mode? Move from the overthinking mode and step into the action mode. It all starts with adopting the action over analysis mindset. Instead of waiting for a perfect plan, perfect time, take that imperfect action. Focus on progress and not perfection. Ask yourself, what is the smallest step that I can take right now to move forward? When I was launching the 𝐸𝐴 Summit, I could have spent months perfecting the event strategy. I did not come from an events background. I could have taken multiple courses. I could have spent over a year to analyze different platforms, see how others were doing, and could have been in the planning phase for months. Instead, I focused on taking one simple step every day, securing speakers, setting up the platform, promoting the 𝐸𝐴 Summit. That imperfect action led to a hugely successful event. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that the event couldn't have been better. There were so many learnings from the first 𝐸𝐴 Virtual Summit that we did. We brought it into the next 𝐸𝐴 Summit, and over years, every year, we have made the summit better. The next one is to practice mindfulness and ground yourself. Now, when your mind is racing, when your mind is overthinking, it's important to pause and practice deep breathing. And deep breathing is not complicated. I do a very simple deep breathing exercise. You inhale for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for another 4 seconds, and then you exhale for 4 seconds. Total takes 12 seconds. But this simple technique shifts your brain from overthinking mode to the present mode. And that's what is important. You want to break that pattern. And once you break that pattern, it's easy for you to get into the action mode, which brings me to our next point, which is break down your goals into smaller tasks. Overthinking often happens because we are overwhelmed with the size of the task. Break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Set 5-minute timer, commit to doing one small action to break the inertia. One small action in 5 minutes could be making a quick phone call or sending an email that takes you to the next level. When you take action, no matter how small it is, what you're doing is you're building momentum. Action boosts confidence because you are proving to yourself that you can move forward. And that's why celebrating small wins becomes really important. Acknowledge every little step that you take. Every step in your journey is a powerful step. Celebrate progress, even if it's writing first paragraph of your blog or reaching out to one potential client or establishing one connection on LinkedIn. And then you have to embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. Mistakes are not failures. They're just feedback. Every misstep teaches you something valuable that you can apply to move forward. And here I want to share a personal story. When I took the plunge and transitioned into the startup business, I made some mistakes, but I learned from those mistakes and I course corrected myself. With each of these missteps, I gained deeper insights into scaling a multi-million-dollar business. And here is the thing. Taking action is one thing, sustaining it is a completely different thing. After you take action, you have to sustain that momentum. You have to keep the momentum going. And to keep the momentum going, you have to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as they are planned. Instead of beating yourself up, ask, what can I learn from this situation and how can I move forward? Build a support system. Surround yourself with accountability partners with the right set of mentors who can keep you motivated. Check in with them regularly to stay on track. Do not let the momentum go. And then one thing that I diligently follow is tracking my progress. So track your progress. Use a simple journal or a habit tracker. If you don't have a journal yet, I created one specifically for you. It's linked in the description of this video. You can go get that journal and start tracking your progress every single day. When you see your progress visually, it reinforces positive behavior. It gives the signal to your brain that this is exciting, we're making progress, let's keep going. And that's the most important thing that helps you take care of your overthinking and move past that into an action and success phase. If there's one thing that I've learned in my journey, it's that action beats overthinking every single time. And the key is to shift your focus from what might happen to what you can do right now. So recognize your overthinking patterns, practice small, consistent actions, and celebrate progress no matter how small it is. Remember that you don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get going. And once you do, you will realize that the clarity that you were waiting for comes after you take action, not before. So what is that one step that you're going to take today to break free from overthinking? Let me know in the comments and let's continue the journey together. And if you found this video useful, please like, share and subscribe. Your subscription means the world to me. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a successful week. Bye-bye.